Hello everybody, welcome back to iCame Gaming. Here we are working at the Bella Italia DLC, and we're working on the third scenario, Milano Magnifico. And here's what we're working on today. If you've watched some of the previous videos of this scenario specifically, you'll know that everything's kind of mishmash. It's all over the place. As you do one thing, it opens up another task. So you see lots of check marks there. That's why they're kind of all over the place. So here's what we need to do in this video. We need to connect the city of Pisa to our home city of Milan. Then we need to construct a library in Florence, so that means we need to grow to 50,000 because that's when you can put a library down. Then we need to hit 45,000 citizens in Trent, which we've already set Trent up, so that's going to happen kind of on its own. And then we need 80,000 citizens in San Marino, which is in this area here, which we also need 200,000 citizens in that area. So that one there, we have things kind of set up somewhat decently here with a warehouse serving San Marino, Rimini, and Ravenna, and then Bologna's kind of getting things in straight up. Pisa is over here in the Tuscany region. That's going to be 985,000. So it's a little pricey considering we're at minus 293,000. And then Florence is at 36,000 citizens. Let's see if we got a bond. Something tells me we do. Okay, great. Let's take the biggest bond and then let's buy this. So if we put our hills situation on here, Florence, Pisa is in the plains. Is there another? Okay, yeah, there's the other city, Arezzo. So we don't really want to have to climb these mountains and back down again at the moment. But we could bring Genoa, which is sort of in the foothills. We could travel that down to Pisa and then the Florence, like a 1, 2, 3, and that will get us our Pisa connected. And then once we're in Florence, we can start hooking up whatever it needs. It needs wood, it needs olives, and it needs grapes for just straight up raw goods. And then it needs olive oil and wine. So wood, olives, and grapes. So olives are there. Wood's up there, unless there's one closer, and grapes are here. Okay, so that's all decent. So we'll go ahead and run this line from Genoa down to Pisa. We'll probably cross the river right here where it's pretty small, so the bridge will be less. We'll put our station kind of like this, and then we'll come over here and put another express station kind of like that. And then we'll put different freight station for Florence. I should have changed where I put the Genoa station and put it down in the plain here. So for now, I'm just going to hook this just to get the task accomplished.
This city is in a strategically important position for us. Good thing we now have a train station here.
So we'll leave that be. We'll delete that here in a bit. We're going to put another station down here. Definitely makes way more sense. And we'll put a maintenance depot here. We'll put our post office and we'll call it Genoa Express. And I don't know, maybe I'll move that other one eventually anyways. Well, that's a little bit longer. Let's put 2 in here, 2 supply towers. And then I'll go ahead and build this line to Florence, and then we'll throw our train down on it. We finished our line in Florence. So now we're going to have Genoa Express down to Pisa, over the Florence, back to Pisa. We'll leave it on automatic and put 6 trains. Actually, let's go 8 trains on that. It'd be a little expensive. And I noticed it opened up another task once we connected to Pisa. Now it wants, by December 85, 500 passengers to Pisa. So by putting those trains down, that's going to help. Then I think what we'll also do is we're going to double this track from Milan. So that way we can bump up a few more trains on that as well. So we doubled up everything on this line from Milan to Asti to Genoa. We'll bump it up to 6 trains, and that should help us accomplish our 500 people going to Pisa. A lot of people will come down through here. So we have 100 research points. We're going to take this workers housing estate, which is going to bump our immigration up another 4%, up to 27%. So I think that's worth it. All right, then we now have our line doubled from Turin over to Asti to Novara, so that way we can funnel more people down to Pisa. We have just enough money for our dining car and a mail car, and 3 coupe vents. We're going to leave it on automatic. So we've hooked up our grapes and our olives. So we're going to have a line with 1 Taft Vale tank, bringing in our grapes full, then going back out to the olives, bringing that in full to Florence. So that will work fine. Now we're going to put a station up here in the wood and bring it in probably on its own train, just because I know that would be more than 56 days. And now we have our wood coming in full from Moriarty train station all the way in the Florence freight. And so if you click on Florence, in a few seconds, because that will give us wood, olives, and grapes. See, the grapes have already been sent. We are getting some olive oil coming in, and so now we just need to find wine somewhere and feed it in. We could probably go and put an immigration center down, which would be a good thing to do, I'd say. That'll help speed the growth, and then the quicker we can grow, the quicker we can get a library down. And we're just going to take a quick peek over in the Emilia Romagna region at San Marino. We're going to put an immigration office down and check and see, okay, they're 100% everything, a little low on olive oil, but that's because they just went a bit low on the factory. And Rimini has a slot open. Ravenna bumped up their sausages. That's nice. Bologna didn't, and they have a slot open too. So let's see. San Marino, olive oil. They're getting pasta. They're getting enough meat now. Could do wine somewhere. We got grapes there. We have wood up there. Maybe if Rimini did wine, that could be helpful. Anyone else doing wine? Well, Ferrer is doing wine. We're also going to put an immigration office in Ravenna and in Bologna. That way, that'll help the Emilia Romagna region grow. I also noticed there's a bit of a logjam here in Ferrara loading, so I put this up to a 4 gridiron, and so that should help that out as well. So I'm just trying to debate if I want to go with the wine or not, because up here we're doing wine in Ferrara, but honestly, like, it's not really producing anything. Okay, we'll go and put it in Rimini. There we go. And we're going to bring in our wine, and if they bring in people and cargo, that's all right as well. From Rimini to San Marino on a dedicated line. And now we're going to bring in some grapes directly to Rimini just so it can make wine a little bit quicker. Now we're going to bring in some milk to San Marino warehouse. We'll put 2 trains of that. Bologna already is demanding milk, and San Marino won't be far behind. Now we have our vegetables coming into our Marino warehouse, 2 of them, and we should probably also put a line of milk going into Bologna. There we go. Put a Taft Vale tank, and we'll add the refrigeration cars so that way we can make money off it. And we're still in the Emilia Romagna area. We see that Bologna has an industry. We're going to put a dairy down, so we'll go ahead and put an extra train here. Going to haul straight into Bologna. We already have one, but we'll put an extra one down, and that way they can make cheese, and hopefully that cheese will get shipped down to San Marino. Now we jumped way up the Trent where we're about 42,000. We have an industry slot open. We said we're going to put cloth factory down, so we'll bring in wool to Trent, and we're going to want at least 2 trains of that, I'd say. Trent's already connected to Bergamo, so it should bring the produced cloth back to Bergamo, and then that'll help them make clothing. I think we're going to immediately bump this up, and then we'll go back to our train here for our wool, and we'll put it to 3 trains, because that way it'll be able to produce even more. Right now it's bringing in maybe enough to produce 2 a week. We put a 3rd train on, it'll be up to 3 a week, and then Bergamo should be getting lots of clothing. And back over to Genoa, we're going to put an immigration office in, and we're going to look at our train and see if there's enough trains, because it looks like it's not moving. Oh, rail line incomplete. Okay, we got to fix that for sure. It turns out both of them were going the same direction. That's all it was. Just something stupid like that. That was keeping Florence from growing because they weren't getting enough olives. So now that I got my trains rolling again, I think we'll be fine for olives. And back to Florence, we're going to throw down a train, bringing in our vegetables. They're not going to need it quite yet, but I want it ready to roll when they do. I decided to hook up San Remo Express over to Genoa so we can maybe ship some more people down to Pisa. Put 1 train because we only have a single line so far. Then I see Trent's getting very close to hitting 45,000.
This city is in a very advantageous location for us. From here, we can extend our line southwards up to Bologna and even the free state of San Marino.
Perfect. There's 45,000 citizens in Trent. Now let's see. Did they open anything else up? Nope. We still got the library in Florence. We got the 500 passengers at Pisa. We only have 23. That's kind of pathetic so far. And then we still have over 200,000 citizens. We're at about 147. San Marino's about 37. So not doing super amazing on that. Let's take a look at our Pisa line here and just see where we're sitting at. So we had 8 trains. So number 1 finally got out of the gate. 2 is loaded, but it's waiting to space. We do have olive oil on number 5, but it must be sitting in the station still. We're back over in Rimini, and I think we're gonna bump up our wine factory. And how about our cheese factory? You might want to bump that up as well. As soon as we get just a tad bit more money, we'll bump it up before he is it getting enough milk. Got 14 coming in. It needs cheese 3.1. Okay, I think that should do it. Ravenna already bumped up its meat, so we're fine. We don't own this olive oil, and it's like a boatload to buy it, so we're stuck kind of with that. And we put an express line from Ravenna to Rimini to San Marino. We're going to start with 4 trains on that, just strictly express because we already have our freight going, and see if we can create some more income. Our income's not amazing. I'd like to see it go up a bit more, and we're still stuck at 23 passengers, so we gotta figure that out. We're up to 158 for the region and just over 41 for San Marino, so we do have an industry slot open right now. We have olives, we have wine being made there, we have meat or sausage, I mean, in 2 different cities. We have cheese, so probably the next thing we're gonna want is, I'd say, wooden planks, probably what we should put there. All right, so we put a really expensive line through the mountains from Parma to Pisa. We're gonna put 4 trains on that, the coupe vents, put it on express, and we're gonna put priority on passengers. So that should help bring some passengers down, not just from Parma, but also from other areas. And we have some more research. I think we're gonna take child shipments, and it's to increase passengers in all my cities by 5%. So we have our line from Brescia Express, piggybacking on a little bit of freight line, but we'll go with this anyways. We're gonna put 4 coupe vents express because we already have freight lines. We're gonna prioritize the passengers. 4 trains, there we go. So that should help kick down a few more things down to Pisa. Let's see if anyone else can get the Pisa now. Okay, we got Brescia is now coming down, Dua, Vincenza. So we picked up quite a bit there. Then we're gonna have Fossano coming into Genoa, which will hopefully push even more stuff down to Pisa.
The whole world wants to see the Leaning Tower, and our trains make it possible.
Awesome. So we got our 500 passengers at Pisa. Gonna quickly see if anything else opened up. Nope. Still this region, San Marino, and a library in Florence. See, we have research. See, do we want to go with the RA class? A little bit more attractive. Yeah, a lot more attractive power. Reliability 123. Maintenance requirements. Yes, let's go with that. The RA class 500 Muca. There. And we have our line from San Remo to Fossano to Turin. Gonna leave it on automatic. Put 6 trains on that. Perfect. So we're gonna just take a quick look. Florence is double growth. I think we'll just leave that industry. We'll let them throw down whatever they want. Hopefully that doesn't bite me later. San Marino, we're at 47 double growth. Milk's coming in maybe a bit slower than I wish it would, and sausage is still a little bit under what I would like. San Marino has an industry slot open. We're gonna put a sawmill in. Okay, let's put it over here where it's out of the way. So at this point we have our cheese and bologna, which hopefully will go down to San Marino when it can, and we're gonna have our sawmill. That should help San Marino stay growing. Rimini's making wine at double growth, so it's sitting pretty decent. It will start getting vegetables in when it hits 40. Ravenna, single growth, so it needs olive oil. Some is coming, I'm not totally sure from where. And then Ravenna, it could use some wine from Ravenite or Rimini. I mean, is there a line between these two? It kind of doesn't look like there is one to Ravenna, so maybe we want to put one in there. Let's see, freight, Ravenna freight, and we don't want people, we just want it to be a freight one. I think I'll just let it go back and forth. So Bologna's not getting enough milk because this milk guy, he refuses to grow. So we're going to hook up to this milk too. It was a little expensive, but we're going to bring a line straight into Bologna with 1 train on this line. So hopefully that will bring them some milk because we wanted to make cheese. So we got locked because I think it's shipping to other places too. See, it's broken right now. It's demanding 3.3 and it's got 0. This way here, that other guy should be able to fill it in. We should be good. Look quickly at our growth. We're at just under 50 in San Marino. So that's another reason to have the cheese because I think that kicks in at 50. We're at 182 in the region itself. And then up here in Florence for our library, we're at 45. So they just are going to start demanding milk here any second, which I believe we already have linked up. Do we not? Yeah, right here. It's already set up, ready to go. So Florence was getting hogs, but all of a sudden they just went to 0. So we're going to throw a train in here and bring it in full hogs to Florence. Kind of funny how it was working and then all of a sudden it wasn't working, but whatever. We'll do it that way and then we'll go in and put a maintenance depot there. So I don't think Bologna's making enough cheese, so we're going to bump that up. So now we can make 33. All right, so things are growing fairly decently right now. We're waiting on Florence to hit 50,000. We're getting very close.
This region also grows thanks to our transport business. Keep up the good work.
All right, perfect. So what was that? It was the 200,000 citizens in Emilia-Romagna region. And did anything else open up? Okay, nothing has so far. So the library in Florence, here we go. We can do this. Pause that for a second. Put our library down just to get the task.
Bellissimo. The urban growth is fueled by our trains.
Okay, and there we go. Once again, we'll take a quick look. It's just the 80,000 citizens in San Marino. I think we'll go ahead and blow that up now that we did that task, and we'll go back with immigration office. So as far as San Marino, we're at single growth, which I don't like. Something dropped a bit. The olives were kind of choking a little bit, which I should have picked up on. I see my grapes are coming in, but I don't like where they sit either. I don't know if my grapes are at 0. Yeah, okay, that's what the problem is. So that's a bit of an issue with the grapes being at 0. I could maybe come over. There's grapes over here somewhere. See, I have grapes here. I could always bump this up and bring it in from there, which is probably what I'll do. Then at least we can sort of bypass things a bit. Kind of a dumb way to do it. But if the computer doesn't upgrade things like the businesses, then there's really not much else you can do, really. The milk, for instance, still at 19. That's why I hooked up this milk over here, way up in the mountains. So at least it's getting my milk over the Bologna so I can make cheese. It's coming anyways. There's 15 showing up there. So I think we're just left with growing San Marino. So let things roll and see how we go. All right, we have some research. We're going to take this one here, Industrial Congress 2, to reduce the in-service training, which we spend a lot of extra money in training, so that'll help. Residual value, nah. End auction, not really. We could go this one, increase the number of packages, because I don't think we're going to have enough time to do anything else, although I could be wrong. San Marino is still doing okay, so we got a fair amount of wood. We need to get this olive oil up. The other thing that's I noticed is Rimini and Ravenna both have industry slots. Is there anything San Marino's? I mean, it's low on cheese. Hopefully we'll be doing a bunch in Bologna. So grappa would be next, cloth would be next, and clothing all would be needed to get it to 80,000. We do have grappa over here in Parma. Got my grapes are coming in good. What about the wood? The wood coming in good. So the problem might be that it's not producing enough. We could always bump it up a little bit more and bring grappa in. That's something we could do. So let's say we had grappa just for funsies. We could do maybe cloth in Ravenna and possibly clothing in Rimini, and just maybe don't do this pickled vegetable. So if we did that, we're going to have to bring in wool from super far away. I do know that. And then if I went and put a clothing factory over here in Rimini, oh, I don't have enough money. Okay. So yeah, that's what we'll do. We'll put the clothing, which we already did, and then we'll put fashion industry here as soon as we get enough money, and hope that we can just upgrade the grappa situation. So what we'll want to do now then would be to pick our wool. Where's the closest wool? We got one way up in the mountains here. We have one here, and we have one over here. Okay, this one over here isn't too bad. What if we brought it and doubled on this milk line here and then got it to Ravenna? That looks like it's doable. Okay, we'll do that. We'll put a station down here and then we'll bring it down. Okay, so we have a train lined up from our wool all the way over the Ravenna freight to help make cloth. We're going to put one train on there, and then I think what we might do, put another line doing the same thing, and that way they're not waiting. We can get the trains rolling quicker, and then maybe what we could do is do a third one over. Instead of just doing like 3 trains, I just wonder if maybe this is better, because they're not going to have to do that increased distance thing, which I think is kind of dumb, especially on freight trains. So if we do that, that should bring in lots of cloth. So do we have a line from Ravenna to Rimini? That's the question. You see that? Okay, here it is right here. So Ravenna to Rimini. Yeah, let's put 2 trains. We'll just let them go back and forth. That's fine. I won't make it wait for full because I don't want to lose time or anything. All right, we took out a really big bond, and one of the things we did was put a line from Ravenna up to Venice Express. We're going to put 6 trains in that, all automatic, and we doubled up every other line we had and put all our trains up to 8, except if they were between 2 cities. Usually we left it at 4, and then added in post offices and restaurants where we needed them, and so that kind of basically ate up 22 million, if you can believe it. We did bump up our factories too, especially in this area here. So see, now we can make 24 clothing clothing, make 43 cloth. We bumped up the wine to 33, and our cheese was already at 33. We did bump up the grappa to 38, so that should help. Now, I think I have enough trains lined up to bring all this stuff. Of course, this is a problem right there, and that's a problem right there. There's not much I can do about that at the moment. So where do we stand? We're at 57,000 in San Marino, but it's getting pretty well everything. So let's put more wood down. We're going to the Marino warehouse. So we definitely need that to go up to 3. Absolutely. And then I'm gonna have to put some direct in. I thought I had wood direct in here from somewhere. Maybe not. Okay, so my plan to bring in wool hit a little snag. They were at 0, so I ended up having to buy them for 2.4 million. Now I'm gonna bump them up to level 3, so that should help me to be able to produce more, to be able to come over to Ravenna. And I don't know what I just clicked on there. Yeah, see, they're demanding 6.4. There's 22 on the way. Everything else sitting not too bad. They're a little low on milk, but once again, the milk is just simply not going up. 7.3 million. The grape, same problem, 6.2. So we're kind of stuck at that point. There's really not much we can do. Hogs, for some reason, they're like way up. I guess that's good. And then we have our grappa, I think, which should be starting to, yeah, it's starting to slowly climb up here bit by bit. So that's a good thing. Basically, San Marino, we're just waiting for it to grow. We're at 61. And so now we're going to put, okay, San Marino's up to about 67,000 or so. We built this line from Florence to Arezzo back up to San Marino Express. We got 8 trains on it. It's automatic. Okay, it's time for some citrus fruits. So we hooked up Monte Rest here to the Marino warehouse. We're going to bring in 2 trains of that, and then hopefully it'll get spread out. And then also we should bring in one to Bologna Freight, because technically the warehouse isn't connected to it. And this one will put a refrigerated car on it. That way we can get that bonus. Okay, we have 2 more research points. We're going to take our 200, I guess. We're going to take the maintenance standards, which will reduce our maintenance time by an additional 5%.
San Marino, one of the smallest countries in the world and completely surrounded by Italy, and now a part of our rail network as well. The goal of the government should be within striking distance. Let's make sure that the rail network performs well in the evaluation. We have to meet the required minimum length. It was no small feat, but we did it. We have fully and timely constructed the new routes as planned by the state.
All right, so we got our San Marino to 80,000, and so that kind of closes off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sections right here, and we'll end the video there. So we worked in quite a bit in the Emilia Romagna region. We did a fair amount here in Florence and Pisa. We even worked up here a little bit. Again, Milan's our main city, so we're stuck at 83 there, so we're not growing that fast. Parma is at 90. Overall, we did pretty good. We have a decent income. Rates 400, passengers 770, and mailbags is just ridiculous at 1.8 million. If you enjoyed that video, like, comment, subscribe. Come back and watch the next video of I Can Meet Gaming.